States, courts, politics, econ, nano.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Okay, everyone good? Cool. Not going for the states, kind of from the logical condition, that would be as if it's not a condition because the 2SC strategy is good and the investment of time should be wasting time. That's conceded upon one argument. Also, except the college have the USFG control visas are too rich to effectively dole out work authorization means you have zero solvency because the plan does not allow any immigrants to actually get a job after they come to the US. Means no investment in houses, courts, kind of plan. This was framed as a in the 2SC, so the status quo does not link to it. This isn't a new argument first because it's based on 2SC framing. Also, it's too obvious that counters a new argument. Plenary power exists now. Plenary power is good. So this is irrelevant. Also, the short-term collective independence that we went on the DME said democracy does not mitigate these impacts. Turns case how was the case solvency argument. He needs to evidence before the midterm. This is before the midterm is necessary. This is before anyone can come to anyone can get a house bill. And the trade war escalates immediately. Our first evidence and our final evidence says that China will backlash to U.S. measures on the currency because it's an existential threat to their entire economy. Leads to a typical trade war, which is the warrant for your entire economy. Advantage. The Hutton and Ferguson evidence makes the Turns case argument completely obvious to it. The last time frame means that outweighs solvency. They say warming outweighs before nuclear war. Quick time frame, and you only get to die once. Warming, we turn that to. They have no answer. China relations are key. First, you can't solve this because relations mean that China will not accept the U.S. threat of nuclear technology. They have the biggest emitter and the fastest growing economy. Means this is the key. And the internal link. Our Bodhi evidence says that effective relations with China can lead to global measures to combat global warming. Means that we solve globally, you solve locally. We outweigh new impact, and the new impact defenses. And the new impact defense is completely new. Should be rejected. That's the same logic. As the 1NR argument. We purposely undercovered the impact defense from the 2SC because the only warrant was interdependence, and this is absolutely not. Interdependence is absolutely not responsive to our dissent to Sean. Because Sean being like a smart one and skipped it regardless. The desk reference doesn't assume an existential threat to China's economic salience, and the Libra and Press evidence doesn't say, and the arms sales evidence doesn't say that their relations are low enough now puts us on the brink. Trade war pushes us so politics proper. Prefer unique evidence on their evidence. None of their one Wall Street Journal doesn't assume the transform of Obama holding the line says the people are people may be pushing for China bashing measures now, but Obama is holding them all. I've also conceded the internal link uniqueness on this. That the labor will labor if Obama messes with labor, they will backlash and make him bash China. Reuters evidence says that Obama will not support the legislation. Now he is able to keep the Democrats in line and protect potentially veto legislative and financial post evidence says he just needs to hold off Congress until the midterms, and so all we need to win is a little bit of uniqueness. The hot hate reference as a political capital prevents isolation specific to labor political capital. The Dream Act argument first. The Hill evidence says the Reed has decided not to push it, so there's no risk of costing political capital. You've also dropped the caution and the running internal accountants that labor is the only thing about that matters, and they love the Dream Act. That's the Chicago Sun difference. So you have no chance of winning this number, regardless to for specific link arguments. And that way the Dream Act. That's the West evidence, the Hansen evidence, the Caution evidence, and the Kane evidence says the labor gets pissed off because they fear the prospect of labor of wage inflation. That's why the immigrants took our jobs. They also fear the people will get exploited for lower wages or exploited for lower wages and depress them. The Kane evidence that a basic xenophobia argument and that there's no risk of link term because EV visas have no lobby, so only labor matters. Also, the Ryan evidence says winners lose, so you cost them political capital econ. Only argument that we have to win here, in addition to the elements that will probably wins, that the economic model of the US is resilient. I spent probably 20 seconds extending this one. The third card from the one scene says that the model of capitalism will not recede. I will not recede absent something like the US pushing for protection measures I mentioned on China. I also cited there evidence says that China is already modeling the US to improve the economic model is resilient. Our first evidence indicates that wars are never fought for an economy. That every empirical example is overdetermined, and their authors overlook other arguments or Miller evidence that's better studies and says that the economy has never in the history of the world led to a backlash on the scale that they're talking about. The Barnett evidence provides global uniques to prove that this has a bigger internal link to the global economy because developing economies are key to current growth. They say proliferation never contradicts with the 2NR argument that slow proliferation triggers the impact. So your impact is inevitably considered to slow down. We'll take the best evidence that people are responsible for nuclear weapons, so there's no risk of a proliferation impact regardless. Or China evidence says that the relations are the key to prevent Ronald Lumberg evidence and the card from the one and actually the water vapor provides a negative feedback that prevents warming from being widespread. The SPPI evidence takes out your shitty tangential evidence, and the Ridley evidence is much better than unique to overall alike.
6:27. No, 4:26.